Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Brickenstein here, aka Ken Turner. So in today's mock video, I'm going to be making a graveyard. I've been wanting to make this for a while now since I made the haunted houses. So I have a bunch of sets that I'm going to sort of mash up and create my own graveyard with. And you can see down here, I have a whole base plate full of minifigs. These are all sort of Halloween-y minifigs that I'll go over. Some are going to go in the graveyard and some are going to go in the haunted houses eventually for future videos. And in this pile over here, I have a bunch of Halloween type minifigs and parts that are just going to go in the graveyard. So some of the sets I'm going to be using are ones like this small Halloween set. So this is set number 40122, has 133 pieces, comes with a couple minifigs. There's a little witch character, there's a little witch girl, and there's a skeleton. There's a little sort of cemetery build. There's a little black trees, some pumpkins, so I think this one's going to come in really handy. And I also have this hidden side set. This is the Graveyard Mystery. This is set number 70420. Has 335 pieces, and I have two of them. I have two of them because they have some really good parts. There's a statue, there's some nice fencing that I can use around the graveyard. There's a tombstone with a skeleton coming out of it, and there's a really nice tree build that I'll try to double up and make this really big tree. I also have this sort of battle pack for Halloween. So there's a witch, there's a zombie, and there's a ghost with a chain and a little spider. It also comes with a little tombstone build. And there's some vine pieces, there's a bat, there's a rat as well, and I think that's a little frog there. So this will be a really nice set to use as well. And then over here I have a couple of Harry Potter sets. This is set number 75945. I'll be using these tree builds especially. And then down here I have the Rise of Voldemort set. This is set number 75965. Has 184 pieces. And this comes really nice grave and statue. And there's a little tombstone there. And I think there's a little feature with this pull-out piece right here. So I think this will be sort of featured in the graveyard. So I'm going to be using this big gray base plate for the graveyard. I might extend it and double it up with another gray base plate, but we'll see about that first. So let's get started and head to the graveyard. So those were all the sets I wanted to build, and you can see here this is the Graveyard Mystery set, and there's two of them that I made, but I didn't make the other one to the full extent. I'm just going to be using parts from it. And this one I'll probably take apart as well just to rearrange it in the actual graveyard, but I want to show you the set. I also doubled up the tree monster, so he has 2 heads, and then I added some more foliage or branches around the top and the sides. Now these gates I'm going to be using, these are from the Monster Fighters Haunted House. I'll probably be decorating the top here, maybe with some bats, but these will be the front gates to the graveyard. So I have another tombstone here and one here as well, and this one is an exact copy of the one over here and the other one over there. I also have these other gates that I might incorporate around the sides of the graveyard, so I might disassemble this and then rearrange it on the actual graveyard as well. Then we have the Rise of Voldemort set. This one has a really nice play feature, has the Voldemort coming out of the grave, so I might use that, but maybe change out the character because I have a whole bunch, and maybe I'll have Beetlejuice be one of them that comes out of the grave. And the other sort of parts that I have, so there's a little black tree from that smaller set. There's a tombstone from that battle pack. There's a little green bush here, little half house, and those trees as well, which came from the Expecto Patronum set. But I really like this little tombstone with the statue and the Tom Riddle sticker piece right there. But yeah, I'm going to be taking all of these and then getting some base plates right there. I haven't decided actually if I'm going to be using the gray base plates or the green base plates, but I'll have to make a decision soon and then be putting all this together. So here's a little update on all that. And you can see all the extra minifigures that I have. So there's more skeletons I can use. There's even a grave digger there. Some more hidden side characters right there and there. Even these Dementors, I have a couple of them now. So I might incorporate those into the set. So right now I'm in my parts room, as you can see. And I've just laid out all the sets on these 3 green base plates. So I think this will be the entrance on this middle plate. So I think I'll use some fence pieces for the front area and maybe the side if I have any more. But there's some I've gathered from the graveyard set, so I'll be probably taking those off this particular area and then bringing them to the front. And then for the back and side walls, I'll just probably be making like a brick wall that'll go around with those masonry pieces. And I'll also be changing out maybe some of these light green limbs with some of the fall colors that I have over here, just to give it some color to this graveyard. And I was thinking, I want certain things in this graveyard. It'd be nice to have a little swampy area over by these trees. It'd be nice to have like a little pet cemetery with some animal tombstones. And I'll probably have to take this one apart just to make it fit on the green base plate as well. Also, I'd like to have a little area where there's a bunch of zombies coming out of graves. So maybe it's over here. And then I think this will be the centerpiece with the Tom Riddle Rise of Voldemort set. So I'm in the parts room because I've gathered all these parts now. I think I'll add some pumpkins and then a little brick wall in the back. And then of course I'll top it all off with some minifigures at the very end. So I'll do a little time lapse and see where I'm at. And then I'll probably take a break and show you the progress. All right, let's continue building the LEGO MOC graveyard. So here is where I'm at with the graveyard. I mainly was working on this middle base plate area, and this is where all the major tombstones are going to be going. So I plated it all off, and then I'm going to create a sort of pathway that's going to go from right to left and up and down so that characters can go to the left and check out the swamp and the pet cemetery, or go to the right and check out more of the graveyard in this area. And you can see some of the gates and how they're progressing. So I created these all black gates right here and on the other side. And then they're topped off with these bats. So I might use that little motif going all the way around with more bats. And I've added a chain to the gate, and there's some silver 1x1s for the handles. So in the corner here I have 2 trees and this blue base plate, and that's where the swamp is going to be going. And then in this area I'm going to have the pet cemetery, so I still have to create those tombstones and use up a bunch of these gray animal elements. And you can see how some of the play features are going to be working. So there's the Voldemort play feature for that tombstone. Up in here, you can see you can lift up the tomb and see a skeleton inside. I've moved one of the tombstones that was over here to here, and one of the other sort of monuments just to go over there in between these 2 tombstones. So I think in this area, there's going to be a lot of greenery pieces that are going to be going all the way around. Might even put some pumpkins in this area. But you can see how these base plates are going to be going together. I even have this element that's going to go over top, sort of to hide the sort of cut. And of course, in this corner, we have the double-headed tree monster. And you can see the wall going all the way around the graveyard. And the back of this middle section, I'll show you what it looks like. Take it out like this. And just turn it around. You can see the masonry bricks that I've used, and some of the 1x1 in gray, and these modified 1x2 in tan. I've even included some frogs. So there's a green one there and a silver one there. And this is how the back of the middle section looks now. So I'm going to continue on. Once I get this middle part all done, I'll probably move on to the swamp area with the pet cemetery, and then finish off this section. And I'll probably have a bunch of zombies coming out of the ground over here. So I made some changes to the graveyard. I've rebricked or replated the pathway. I made it a little more narrow. I think it was too wide before. I've also added these bushes just to see how those would look. I think if I got those in tan, I think I would prefer those. I've also placed some minifigs just to see kind of the stories I'm going to be telling and where they would go. I've also added some pumpkins there. And then I've also added some more blue to the swamp. I'm going to have to get a bunch of 1x2 blue or green transparent pieces to create the swamp. I've also placed the sort of swampish bush over there. I've also added these greenery pieces for the swamp. I think those will look really nice along the edges. I think I'm going to do something with the werewolf and the zombie guy. Maybe he's coming out of the dirt with a bone, and you have the werewolf trying to get the bone. I also had a ton of these 2x2 circular brown plates and dark brown plates. These were from the brickhead set for Bellatrix Lestrange and Voldemort and Nagini. These were for Bellatrix's hair, but I think I'm going to use them to create the pathway that'll connect the 3 base plates. As well, I'm thinking I'm going to take out the bottom black brick pieces and replace them with these grays that I've placed along the edges. just to match the front gates. So it'll be sort of a light bluish gray on the bottom and then black on the top. And I think that'll look a lot better. I think I'll just do it for the front and the back, or the sides. They'll just be black plates. I'll probably do a similar treatment that I did for this middle back wall to these back walls on either side. Also gathered a bunch of these 1x1s that'll help create the pathway. But you can see some of the skeletons coming out of the graves. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Put a Dementor in the back there. So a lot of minifigs are still to come, and a lot of areas are still left to figure out. Let's start fixing the fencing and then finish off the pathway. So I think this is going to be the final update for this video. I'll continue to make more videos on this graveyard as I go along to update you guys. Let's check out where it's at right now. So you can see the gates I haven't finished, and I need more of these black cone pieces to go along the fence area, and some of these gray horn pieces to go on top. And that's probably the same for the other side as well. I also need a bunch of these harpoon pieces just to go on top of these pillars. But those are the gates. And then you can see inside now, I've added a few details. There's some spiders, there's a pumpkin there. Added a minifigure there, I'll show you on the other side. There's the skeletons and a ghost, and this one will glow in the dark. And then we come over to the pet cemetery. So there's the anglerfish tombstone and a little cat tombstone. And in the graves, there's a zombie trying to get a bone out. And then there's the werewolf collecting his bones. There's a glow-in-the-dark spider, pumpkin. There's a ghost dog with his grave. You can see that little bone attached. There's some more pumpkins there. And then as we head over here, we see the swamp. And then there's this little swamp creature with a surfing board on top. So I thought that was really fun. Changed out the leaves on this tree to make it more fallish. And then there's some more vegetation in the back. And if we look down here, you can see the pathway that I made. So one is going to go to the right to this side, which I still have to finish. And one is going to this left side, and it hooks up with the path that goes into the pet cemetery. Now over here, I've redone the house that you saw earlier, and now it's a house for the devil, and his house will lead into hell. So I thought that was a little fun feature for this graveyard. And you can see the devil there with a little coffee and a banana, so it's morning time, and he's just chatting it up with the swamp creature. And you can see some of the details on this house. So there's some flames on the house. the red spider. I changed out the windows to be more like flame colors, so there's red, orange, and yellow. And then just retiled the front steps as well in red and added these roses. So it's an all red double house. So let's turn it around. I can show you some of the other details for this side. So you can see on this side as well, on this side of the double house, I added another red spider and a little light. And then here are some more of the pet cemetery graves. There's one for a parrot, one for, well, it's a T-Rex, but I'll say it's a lizard. And then there's another one for a fish. I'm probably gonna, fill in these little areas with some plants or whatnot. But I think that's a really nice area for the pet cemetery to close it out. Of course, this area I'm gonna fill in with some more details. And then you can see from behind here, I still have to fill in this wall over here. And the same goes for that side. So there's gonna be a wall here, so you won't see this empty space. I added this character from Hidden Side, and he has a very scared face. So I thought he'd be perfect to add to the middle here as Voldemort comes out of the grave. So again, yeah, this area I haven't really touched too much, but I have some ideas, and I think it's gonna involve a lot of zombie characters and probably incorporate some of those statues and the gargoyles. But I think that's it for this video. Be sure to stay tuned for more LEGO MOC graveyard videos coming up as I continue to finish out this graveyard set. I'm really excited to see what this area ends up being, but I think it's going to be really cool once it's all finished. But be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.